Thank you for joining us for this video on Insider TPS, a call accounting application developed by Interactive Voice Solutions. Insider TPS is a web-based application, and it sits on a computer on the local area network and is accessible by any other computer on the network. The system maintains 4 different user access levels. It starts with the basic user. When this person logs into the interface, they are able to see call activity on a personal level. This general search report reveals all the calls placed by the basic user, and it shows the details related to the call, including date, time, the number that was dialed, duration, location, and the cost. Additional details regarding the call can be seen from clicking on the icon, and the user can actually add comments or notes to the call. In this case, this call was placed to a customer in Montego Bay. This particular facility allows for users to keep a log and to report accurately the nature of the call. The next level above that is the super user. This user, when they log into the interface, they are able to see call activity related to a range of extensions. In this particular case, this super user is associated with the sales department, and they are able to see call activity across all the extensions within the department. This is particularly important for a departmental head who may want to monitor all the calls within the department. The level above that is the executive user, and this person can see call activity across all extensions and all departments. We'll skip the executive user and move to the admin user. The admin user is able to do quite a bit, including monitor and manage user access levels. They also manage and maintain the restriction codes that have been assigned to each user. They manage and maintain closed user groups that have been defined on the system. They manage and maintain the lines or trunk information on the PBX. This allows for correct billing and least cost routing. They manage and maintain departments. Departments can be by extension or by codes. They manage and maintain the call rates. Call rates are specific to carriers. In addition to defining the different carriers, the periods for which their rate applies is also defined, along with the rate, which can be per second, per minute, flat, or graduated. The administrator can also maintain the business directory. The business directory really reflects categories that the user can define for each type of call. In this case, you can define personal call, business calls, branch office calls, etc. For each of those categories, you can add the numbers that apply. This will allow for those calls to be color-coded in the reports and to be flagged as personal, business, branch office, or sales promotion, or whatever categories that were defined. The administrator can run incoming call reports. For incoming call reports, this general search shows the line number that the call came in on, the extension, the date, the time. If caller ID is enabled on the system, it will report the caller ID, call duration, ring duration, and hold duration. This call was transferred. Additional details regarding the call can be retrieved by clicking the icon. This shows the different legs of the transfer. And of course, you can add a comment to this particular call. In addition to a general search, you can do incoming call for line numbers, hold duration, peak times, and ring duration. These reports are quite useful in helping you to monitor your telephone activity and for you to measure your customer service. For outgoing call reports, calls can be monitored based on cost. In this case, you choose a period from which you want to begin your search. In this case, January 1st, and the period for which you want to end the search. We want to look for calls over $30, and we're not particularly concerned about the line, the extension, or the department from which that call was placed. This report shows all the calls over $30 for the period. There are 17 such calls, total duration, and the total cost. This particular report can be exported to a spreadsheet or to PDF. In addition, we can monitor calls based on duration. Calls over a certain time limit for the same period. This report shows that there were 5 such calls that met that criteria. A general search is always good to use just to determine the call activity for all lines, all departments, and all extension. These are filters that you can use in your search. Outgoing calls can also be based on line numbers and based on a number dialed. This particular report you can use to generate call details on a particular telephone number. So this shows all the time when this number was called, 9 such times within the period. You can look at peak times and restriction code search as well. There are many summary reports which Insider TPS produces. For this particular report, the popular phone number report, it lists all the numbers that were called and ranked them. Of course, this is the most popular, and you can do this based on duration, based on cost, just based on the total number of calls. The most active extension, of course, it can be based on calls received, or calls made, or total calls. Most active codes, based on calls made, total duration, or total cost. You can also do reports based on line usage. Line usage will help to determine how the calls are progressing within the organization. Are there trunks that are not being used? This can help to identify underutilized trunks or lines. You can look at your hourly traffic report. This particular report shows the day broken down into 1-hour blocks. This report can also be exported to a line graph. And in this case, it shows the peak times for incoming call, peak times for outgoing call, and you can use this to determine your staffing. Destination carrier report helps to identify which carrier you're spending most of your money with. can run departmental reports, and you can identify cost or revenue centers within the organization. You can also run daily call reports and business category reports. In this case, based on the categories that were defined, you get this report which tells you the total calls and the total duration of those calls, and the total cost of those calls. Those are some of the reports within Insider TPS. For more information, you can contact us using email at sales@ivsja.com. Thank you.